Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the not funny show, SUPER-CAST. I am Mo and LADI, your resident fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'm joined by my good friend, anime enthusiast, video game designer, and just all-around lover of superheroes. My good friend Lottie, how you doing this evening, Lottie?
Doing quite well. Ready to talk about some of this new news, especially Loki.
Yes, Loki. That's right. This is uh, the Loki episode, part one, because part one of six. We're going to be talking about Loki and our thoughts. It's going to be some non spoiler, but also some spoiler discussion later on. So, get your spoiler caps on and get ready for all that discussion. But of course, here on the SUPER-CAST, we like to cover all things superhero related, particularly in movie, TV shows, video games, anything like that. So we like to start off our week with the news, all the new developments in the superhero space. So why don't we kick that off right now? And we're going to start with some Marvel news this week. Marvel, they're moving and shaking. They're not just putting out, awesome TV shows. They are also, because they're part of Disney. They're also, they're in the theme park game, and one of the big things they got going on is Avengers Campus, which opened up over I guess a week ago at Disneyland, causing quite a stir. I don't know if you saw that, Lottie. They when they opened up, they had Anthony Mackie and Paul Rudd were there, and they've been showing some of the other, Marvel actors sort of showing up there, and they showed off the cast and all that, and they had Kevin Feige up there talking about it. It's a big deal, It can be argued that part of the reason why Disney makes movies is so people come to their theme parks. So this is yet another reason for people to show up at Disneyland. So I don't know. Did you get a chance to take a look at Avengers Campus and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I've looked at some of it. It looks actually pretty cool with what they're adding on to the to the campus. It's kind of cool because now with the pandemic ending, people want to go to theme parks now. It's cool that they're adding this stuff, getting people more involved in just movies. Showing that theme park rides, and this one little ride with the Spider-Man little thing, because growing up, one of the main attractions to Universal and Disney World was the Spider-Man ride. Spider-Man ride was one of the coolest things they had at the time, and it seems like they don't want to disappoint. They want to go back to the Spider-Man ride, and of course, the world, the world known, like the ride that everyone knows, the Hulk. I mean, still to this day, that ride is almost 20 years old. But
Yeah. Yeah.
if you ask young people, they think like it was made 2 years ago. If you ask somebody that's 10 years old, they think it was made when they were kids. When no, that ride was out back in 2003. And they added the Doom Fear machine, which I almost had a heart attack going on. By the way, junk, because they launch you off the ground so fast.
Well,
Oh
that
man,
you're not going to be getting any of that kind of experience because it is Disney World.
yeah,
They're not trying to launch kids into space, but they're and it's early days. Every kind of theme park, new attraction. They never have all the awesome stuff. They are working on more stuff for it, but the Spider-Man ride's kind of the only ride right now. Most of it is really about kind of an experience. Like I remember, and this is something that all these theme parks do, but they really getting a brand like a Harry Potter, they got or the Incredibles or something, and they try to build something. Or I know Universal they have Jurassic Park. So they try to build up this little special part of the park that makes you sort of feel like you're actually within that universe, and it's a no brainer to do it with Marvel. It makes all the sense in the world. They got the IP, they got the characters. It's a multi, it's a what is it? 23 movies now. They've grossed $1 billion on average. I mean, why wouldn't they? Why have they waited so long? To be perfectly honest, and this has probably been years in the making. So it all looks really cool. I did want to. I think I wanted to draw your and the listeners' attention to that Spider-Man. The Spider-Man like little. I don't want to call it a show, but it's like a little acrobatic, show thing where he'll periodically talk to the audience and everything like that. But I want to draw your attention to the whole little the swinging thing, and I think I pointed that out to you before, but that it's a freaking robot. That's where we are in this world. So the world of wonder we live in. There's a freaking robot that looks like Spider-Man swinging around at Avengers Campus. I'm just saying, we live in a world of wonder.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, just like if I hadn't said anything, would you have known that was a robot?
I was the actor the whole entire time, and I was just like, okay, they must be paying this actor a good amount of money to be doing this stuff. Then you're like, oh, that's a robot.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
and this is the thing coming from us having we played Marvel Spider-Man, and so we're sort of we're used to seeing like representations of flipping around and swinging around and everything, and that was just kind of it's uncanny how actually real that. I was like, I hope they got a net back in that bitch, because I was like, they got that if he misses that mark, man, it's over. But now that it's a robot, they will never ever miss their mark. They'll do it right every time. And I wanted to mention, I don't know, did you ever watch MythBusters when you were a kid?
Yeah.
So you remember Grant Imahara, the Asian guy that was on the show? So the background of that show is everyone in there worked in special effects, and he was a he had done engineering and stuff. He worked on like the the Star Wars prequels and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently that robot was was like his last project he worked, because he died of a heart attack unfortunately last year, but that was like the last project he worked on, was those robots that could do acrobatics. So that's like an interesting footnote for all you nerds out there and I'm sure a lot of people like MythBusters. Just kind of just think that's one of his last contributions to entertainment. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, may his soul rest in peace.
Absolutely, and just think that Spidey can do cool stuff like that. That's Hollywood magic. See, that's what you get when you get the imagination of comics combined with the imagination and the kind of the ingenuity of Hollywood, the Hollywood movie magic. You get that in real life. That is the beauty of this Marvel Avengers Campus, and looks awesome. Looks pretty awesome. Too bad it's all the way in California. Yeah.
A place no one wants to visit, unfortunately. I
Um,
won't say.
no, are you kidding me? I cannot wait. I could not wait to
I
go.
didn't mean not visit. I meant the hardest place to live.
Oh
So
well,
expensive
yeah. I
it
mean,
is.
go. You can, you go out there if you want to make it in the entertainment business. But I would, I'm looking forward to, sometime soon heading out there and really like getting the real Hollywood experience. It'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on, more Marvel news. Lottie, how excited would you say you are for Doctor Strange 2? Is it
Extremely excited.
extremely?
I love Doctor Strange. I love Doctor Strange. Like this is one. Doctor Strange is one of those movies that I could not understand why people did not like. Like I loved Doctor Strange every second from the beginning to the end. I was like, okay, love movies. I love movies. See, the thing about it is, we all love action movies. If you're a nerd, we all love some sort of action movies. Love to see things get beat up. But at the same time, I love seeing people outsmart their opponents. That's one of the things that leads me into loving Naruto so much, because Naruto, not only does he beat his villains with brawn. He beats his villains with brain, and I love that. I love seeing people get outsmarted, and that's one of my favorite things about the the Doctor Strange movie. And I can't wait to see the second movie, whatever. Like Doctor Strange is one of those movies that I don't want to look into too much because I want to be surprised. You
Right.
know,
Right.
it like Spider Man. I pretty much know almost everything that's going on with Spider Man that I don't mind looking into. It's kind of like, how can I say? Spider Man is no matter. I don't think I can ever be like shocked of a spider anything Spider Man related. I can be entertained. Don't get me wrong. I can be entertained, but I don't think I'll be shocked. Doctor
Right.
Strange is one of those things that I could be shocked, and I don't want to lose the shock value.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
what? Well, I'm gonna mess up your shock value here by talking about Elizabeth Olsen. So, what's you watch WandaVision, so obviously there's a new
Hmm.
there's a new big magic user in town, who's
Yeah.
now the Scarlet Witch, and so everyone was wondering, like, where the hell is Doctor Strange? This is obviously magical stuff going on. Where's Doctor Strange at? And he, there was rumors, that he was originally going to be in there, but things didn't work out. But we do know now that, well, I've known for a while, but Elizabeth Olsen has confirmed that she has officially completed her filming on Doctor Strange 2. And so now we have a little more detail that she is indeed going to star in the multiverse of madness. And what exactly does she have to do with this film? Which, by the way, might also relate to Loki, and I'll talk about that later. So, you knowing Wanda's going to be in there, but how is your excitement level higher now? Is it has it
Much
jumped
higher.
up?
It's probably exploded. I mean, Jesus. I
Especially because,
cannot.
yeah, consider the fact that she was using the dark hold. She was learning from it last we saw her.
I can't not believe watching all those episodes of Agents of Shield has paid off.
Well,
I
well,
know
no, I was gonna
exactly what
say,
the Darkhold is.
it's not. Agents of Shield. That's another thing that Loki may have had some effect on.
Yeah,
Again, something else we could talk about when we get to
it's
the Loki part.
ridiculous. Yes.
But yeah, there's the dark hold is there, and then of course Doctor Strange, the master of the mystic arts, and this whole multiverse deal, and what is she have to do with it? What does Spider-Man have to do with any of this? Because he is going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home also apparently. So there's
Mhm.
there's a lot of
Mhm.
do you see? I'm telling you, people, if you want to know why Marvel wins and wins and wins and wins, it's this: they run their studio the way Marvel Comics runs their comics. You, if they pay off you knowing something here over in another movie, something you knew from some little thread here pays off in another movie. It encourages you to watch everything that they put out. And so this is another one. So they've been very smartly. They've been more or less making you be like, well, now I gotta watch that Marvel thing because I want to make sure I know everything that's going on. Very smart right now. So, but that's good to know. She's done filming. Of course, she didn't say much about what she filmed, but I assume she's going to be, uh, you know, doing wavy hand symbols and probably flying around and shooting red magic lasers at people. That's my guess. um,
So that,
yeah, go ahead.
so I was gonna say, so does this also mean that Division is in this?
No, we don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. Um, I've not heard that Paul Bettany is in that, and we don't know where White Vision is. And I also understand that his last contractual thing was in WandaVision, which isn't to say he's not going to come back. It's all a matter of getting the deal right. It's all about that money. There's Marvel making big bank, and the actors want to get some of that big bank too. So
I
we'll
don't
see.
blame them.
We will see. Last bit of Marvel news for the week. This is let's file this in our rumor, in the rumor cabinet. We're gonna put this as rumors and try not to get too excited about this, but supposedly, reportedly, by Murphy's Multiverse says that they've cast somebody. I don't know this guy, but they've cast someone to be Namor the Submariner in Wakanda Forever. Black Panther
Yeah, I saw
Wakanda
that.
Forever.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I remember seeing that, and I didn't read it. I saw this like during the week. I didn't read it, but
Well,
I
I
know
mean
exactly.
that's basically that report.
Hmm.
It's basically everything I just said. That's basically what the article says. Um, this is I guess there's a significance in this in two ways. One, in the comics, Black Panther and Wakanda and Namor have fought Namor and the In fact, the Atlanteans tried to invade. Note I said tried. Tried to invade Wakanda. They tried to flood Wakanda even. And of course, Black Panther put the foot on that ass, which is it's hard to say because Namor is basically Aquaman. So Black Panther beating him up, or at least beating him in the Atlanteans, that's a pretty tough order. But if anyone can kick the shit out of the Atlanteans, it's Wakandans. So
Yeah,
that's one thing, and I don't know if you're familiar with that, with the enmity between those two nations.
I'm not too familiar, but I remember seeing stuff like in the TV shows about it, about how they have a little bit of a hatred for each other.
Yeah, yeah. It's I mean they're two kings and two pretty strong and very much like they're in charge of their countries. Um, and so Wakandans they can't stand people trying to roll up on them. You may as well. I mean, like for real. You're better off invading the United States than trying to invade Wakanda. Ask the Skrulls. Ask the Skrulls who they fucked around and they found out. Well, you don't roll up in Wakanda thinking shit is
That
thinking shit is
and
sweet.
also that Wakanda and Blackvaria.
Yeah,
Doctor
again.
Doom don't play.
Well, yeah, I'm saying, but Doom has tried to fuck with Wakanda too. So that I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
but
Hmm.
but that's so it's significant in that sense. But the other significance is what is Namor? Think about what he is. He he is one of the elder mutants in the Marvel universe. And up until this point, we have not seen any actual mutants in the Marvel universe. So could they be backdooring mutants, with Namor? So we have to wonder.
I hope so.
Yeah, this we don't. I mean, we don't know how Kevin Feige and Victoria Alonso, Louis D'Esposito. Those are the three bigs at Marvel Studios. We don't know how they intend to bring mutants in, but a little backdoor here, a little nudge here saying that Wanda's, I mean, she might not be a mutant, or maybe her brother was. We don't know, but this could be one of those ways. And also, god dang it, would be badass to have Black Panther versus whoever the Black Panther's going to be, having them face off again basically Aquaman. So
Yeah, and
that would be
plus
sweet.
I want to see Wolverine call Black Panther or um what's that guy's name? Yeah, the
Black.
Hulk
Oh yeah.
or the Hulk bub in 8K.
One of these days, but we'll see it. But I'm if this is true, I'm intrigued and I'm excited. Wakanda Forever, the movies, it's got a heck of a job to do anyway with trying to deal with the fall. The fact that they're not going to have T'Challa anymore. So how are they going to move forward? But I have a lot of confidence in it, and it'll be interesting. And also, this might actually, you know, it might actually be related to in the Avengers Endgame, the underwater earthquake that supposedly was happening near Wakanda, and maybe they're related. So, I guess we're gonna see. That's coming out next year, so we'll probably hear more about it towards the end of the year. So that's our Marvel news for the week. We do have a small bit of Spider-Man news. Um, so Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Let's just be cards on the table about this. One of the greatest superhero movies ever to
Yeah.
exist. Just
Hmm.
straight up. I don't know anyone who says otherwise. But if you slept on it because it's animated, first of all, what are you doing with your life? Second of all, go watch it. Third, come back, and when you agree with me, we can chop it up and talk about talk about Into the Spider Verse. One of the straight in a year that had it's a year that had Black Panther and Infinity War, and it was again, y'all can fight me about this. Probably better than both of those. And I
Yeah, in
and
my
I
opinion, yeah,
and it
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's
It
hard to
is.
it's
It
hard for me
is.
to say that because I love both of those movies. But
Yeah,
and I
it was
you
better.
know my love for Black Panther. It knows
I
no bounds. But
I feel like Into the Spider Verse of all those movies, Endgame, Black Panther, Infinity War, it's the only movie that I can watch from start to finish and not like check out of a moment. You know what I mean?
right.
Like I've watched that movie like 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times, maybe even more than that. But every time I watch it, I sit down and watch the whole movie all the way through. I don't skip. I don't like check out. Like if I watch like Black Panther, there'll be parts of the movie where I check out.
Right.
I'll look at my phone or other movies I'll check out. But that movie was entertaining from the beginning to the end. You know, that's why I'm so hyped for Into the Spider Verse 2. It's though Sony in general, what they have done with the Spider-Man like series when it comes to the video games and their animated movies is just downright amazing. Like it's just downright amazing. That's why during that whole time when you already know Sony and Marvel were having their little discrepancies, I told everybody Marvel's going to be the one that's bend the knee, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, guys, Sony is doing well with Spider-Man right now. Did you not see how what good? They're like, well, Into the Spider-Verse was done by Marvel. No, it was not.
No,
That was
absolutely
a
not.
that was a Sony movie, and then their video games are selling tens of millions of copies.
They
They
should have.
do
Yeah,
not care.
they should have had. Marvel should have had. Who made the Spider-Man Marvel Spider-Man game? They should have had them make the Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah,
Forget Square Enix. They should have had them make it because it would have been on point. But I digress. Um, well, the little bit of news we got related to that. Of course, we know they have a Into the Spider Verse 2 coming out. They've just cast their Spider Woman, the Jessica Drew character Spider Woman, as is going to be played by Issa Rae, who is she's a I don't want to say a comedian, but she's a comedic actress. What would you have seen her in? She was in this movie called Little that was it was pretty funny. It was like a reverse version of Big.
I forgot what the show that she was really big
She
on.
was
Complicated or something.
yeah,
I forgot
something
what
like
it
that
was.
on HBO. I haven't watched that, but apparently she had started out with like a web series or something of her semi autobiographical. She was also she was in some Netflix movie. I forget what it was called, but it with Kamal Nanjiani, and it was funny enough. I think she's all right. I'm not a huge fan of hers, but I'll tell you what. I love the Jessica Drew character. I've
Yes.
always really liked Spider Woman because she's Spider Woman. Jessica Drew. She is the one spider named character in all of Marvel where you're just like, Is she really a Spider Woman though? Is she really though? Like she got little web wings underneath her arms, but she really has like electrical jolts, and she sort of flies, and she's super strong. But she shoots no webs. I think maybe she can crawl on walls. I don't know. It's she doesn't apparently get her powers from any kind of spider thing. I don't know why she's named Spider Woman, but in general, she's pretty awesome. So, hey, I'm happy to see this character be realized on the screen because I don't think we're going to be seeing her ever on the live action side. But it's hey, it's I think that's great. It's great casting, and it's a great character. And also, she's probably going to be an older character. So Miles and Gwen are teenagers. She's probably going to be in her at least our late 20s, maybe our early
Yeah.
30s. So it'll be I think now that I think about it, the dynamic may be similar to the way Peter, old 40 something Peter and Miles was in the first one. And also, of course, we know this is all multiversal, so she could be one of many other new Spider characters that we see. So that it's good to know that they are making some moves on the Into the Spider Verse sequel.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
So all right, so that's our little bit of Spidey news, and our last bit of news for the week. A little bit of sad news, even though I'm not overly sad about it, but I know I know the people on this show are pretty sad about it. Netflix canceled Jupiter's Legacy after one season. And of course, we talked about this. What was this
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago on the very
Yeah.
first episode of the SUPER-CAST? We talked about this particular show, and I mean, let's not mince words. A missed opportunity, like,
Yeah. It's
somewhat
the it
disappointing.
was the one disappointing superhero show that came out. Well, that and the other one.
Well, for me,
Um,
yeah, I don't know if you got a chance to watch Modoc. For me, Modoc was I liked Modoc better than I liked Jupiter's Legacy.
yeah, like yeah, Modoc. I saw a little bit of Modoc. I only reason why I watched Jupiter Ascending, like what's so frustrating about the show
Is that
is not
it sounds like Jupiter Ascending, but everyone makes that
Jupiter's
mistake.
Legacy. I meant Jupiter Legacy. Yeah, so it gets. So when you first told me, I thought it was about the other one,
Hmm.
but Jupiter's Legacy. The problem with Jupiter Legacy, it has potential, but what the thing that really annoyed me about the show was the past, the way they flipped back and forth between the future and the past was just a little confusing. The past was good. I really enjoyed when they went back into the past. I enjoyed it. All the characters in the past were better characters than they are in the future. Like every character in the future, I just cannot stand. I do not like his both of his sons. Both of the Utopian's children. Both of them are annoying. The son is so monotone, and the daughter is just a straight like terrible human being. And the thing about it is, she's a you know how there's characters that are terrible human beings, but they can still be good characters. She's a
Yep.
terrible human being and a terrible character. It's just no, I don't care. And everybody keeps giving her a freaking pass, and it's so annoying.
Right. Well, I
She,
mean,
she
she's super powered, and also she's relatively attractive. So that's all these things. People be like, I guess we can deal with you. I,
and it's just the show was just it had potential. What I think what they should have done is like I said, if they would have done the past, show more of the past, show the past as its own like little season, like you know how like anime have OVAs,
hmm.
like it would have been like a little nice season in between, and then in the future, don't concentrate so much on the characters that we don't care about. The problem is they concentrated so much on these characters that no one cares about, and then it just got to the point that it started getting exhausting to watch. You
Right.
know what I mean?
And but towards the end, it really kind of picked itself up and sort of made you be like, okay, this is why I watched all these damn hours of TV.
Yeah.
Towards the end, even though the climax of the 30s, the 1930s story was way more interesting than the climax of the present day story.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, okay, just real quick. The more and more I think about it, why does the older brother still have that grudge again? I mean, yeah, we will never find out because the show got canceled, but it's still like it doesn't
why
make
was he a
much sense.
supervillain? Why did he turn supervillain?
Yeah, it's like why? You're rich. You have every.
I mean,
Oh,
for the same reason, like I'm sure, why does Jeff Bezos want to go to space? I mean, at some point, being rich isn't good enough. Being powerful isn't good enough. You want to do shit that other people, don't, you can't, other people can't do. Or more to the point, he wants to be able to model the world, in his own, in the way he thinks it should go and fuck the code. But that's you're right. We're never gonna find out because they canceled it, and apparently, it was kind of fucked up too if you think about it, because they also were the number one streaming show.
yeah, the show did well. The
Well,
show did.
yeah, I don't know about doing well. I know that they were the number one streaming show, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all that much. Um, I heard some numbers, and I'm not going to be able to quote the numbers exactly because I just didn't give a fuck enough about them to write them down. But what I had heard was that yes, it was the number one streaming show, but also the number of minutes watched, the total number of minutes watched for Jupiter's Legacy in the same week that it came out in the week right, it was dropped on Netflix the very same time, a movie called Mitchells versus the Machines, which by the way is a really good movie and you should watch it. If you liked
Actually,
if you like Into the Spider-Verse, you should watch that. It's a
I'll
great
probably
movie.
watch.
It's a great
I'll probably
movie.
watch it as soon as. I'll
It's
probably
very
watch it as soon as we're done with
this
this.
as an aside. I know we're talking about superheroes, but it's very Pixar-ish. I mean, think of what if Sony Animation Studios, the people who made Into the Spider-Verse, what if they decided they wanted to make a good Pixar adventure movie, sci-fi adventure movie? That's what that is. It's really good, and I think you'll like it.
What is it again?
It's called The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Mitchell. Okay, I'll definitely watch
It's
that.
and it's on Netflix also. But the same, it's a 2 hour movie, and it got slightly less number of minutes, in 800, however many thousand million minutes, whatever, were spent on. It got like only a little bit less, and that's a eight episode series versus a 2 hour movie. That's not good. The Mitchells versus Machines, that's a success. Um, Jupiter's Legacy, that's not a success. That's not what because it's all about the numbers for Netflix. They don't get money per view. They don't get money. There's no ticket attached to each viewing of this. So it's all about subscriptions, and everything has to justify itself by how much you're watching it. And if you cost $200 million, like apparently Jupiter's Legacy did, Jupiter's Legacy $200 million.
Jesus Christ.
That's ridiculous. Especially when you think about what we saw in that show. Not where'd they spend the money? I think I have an idea where they spent the money on a shit ton of CGI, right? For when they went to that island, and then some wonky ass superheroic fight sequence stuff, and that's where all their budget went. Maybe paying the actors, but a lot of budget went to the CG, and apparently cost to make versus minutes that were watched, just not the right ratio. So they pulled the plug, and I'm not sad. I'm just not sad at all about it, because yeah, they left some shit hanging, and I just don't care enough about any of the things that happen in that show to be bothered by that. Not at all. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, they're just keeping it real. It's they didn't do a good job, and I hate that too because it has all the right ingredients. Just you can have all the right ingredients for gumbo, but man, if you don't put them all in the right way, in the right proportion and shit, you just get a big bowl of something, and maybe you can choke it down, maybe you can't. I don't know. So, but farewell, Jupiter's Legacy. We barely knew ye, and maybe that's a good thing. So, all right. So that's all of our news items for this week, and of course, there's more superhero related stuff. There's Soldier Boy got a from the boys got a you know an outfit. Good for him. Hey, Shazam got a new outfit. Good for him too. I didn't realize that this was the fashion channel and not superheroes, but um, that's where we are. We're always having to reach for, like, we're maybe in a little bit of a dry spell, but that's all coming to an end. We're in June now, which means and theaters are rolling again.
You know what
And
everybody calls June right now?
what's that?
Uh, so far in comic books, video games, they call it June apocalypse because everything is coming out around the same time. Video games, movies, TV shows, they're like, oh my god, this is June apocalypse.
Yeah, it's
As
it's
soon as
going
I
in.
get done with something, as soon as I get done watching something, something else comes out. As soon as I get done playing something, something else comes out.
Yeah.
It's June apocalypse.
Yeah, it's definitely that time, and to kick it all off, let me, and before I could get to that, that was the news. So, I'm sure we missed some things, and we missed some things that maybe you guys might want to bring to our attention to have us talk about or anything like that. You know what? You can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. Of course, you can leave a comment down below. Let us know what we missed, but I'm just gonna fair warning: if it's all about costumes and or wild ass speculation, might not talk about it, just because
No.
that's not a lot of substance. Okay, Soldier Boy looks like Captain America. Let's move on. He's supposed to. He's meant to be like Captain America. All right. But as these things get closer, we'll talk about them more. But as I was saying, yes, June, you're right, is starting the ball rolling. It's like that boulder in Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Raiders of the Lost Ark, that little boulder that's rolling down after us, and we're running away from it. That
Yeah.
boulder got kicked over by Loki. I really do think that, because for the rest of the year, Marvel, 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 Marvel. I guess a DC thing, but Marvel, Marvel.
I guess it's easy. I guess it's easy.
But they're, no, seriously, like they're not. That's the start. They've you thought it started with Falcon Winter Soldier? Nope, because next month and next month and next month there's going to be new Marvel stuff. So for the next 6 weeks, we have Loki to enjoy, and that's what we did. We waited till Wednesday so we could both watch Loki episode 1. And now we're going to talk about it. We're going to do, first of all, we're going to start off with non-spoiler talk. We're just going to vaguely talk about it, and then we'll kick some spoilers and kind of speculate and everything, because that's what we do on Marvel things. We ask the questions that everyone wants to know. What is this shit really all about? So let's dive into this, Lottie. You ready? You want to kick it off and kind of tell me, what's your impression of this first episode? Which, by the way, is called, the title of the first episode is Glorious Purpose, and it relates to something that Loki likes to say.
Okay. Well, this, of course, I'm gonna start it off with, this is, of course, non-spoiler. It starts off during, technically, Endgame, but honestly during Avengers.
The first Avengers,
First Avengers, like the moment when we were watching Endgame and Loki got away. Of course, that's how it starts off. So, now you as the viewer, you understand what's going on, so that, okay, they're going to expand upon this. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this first episode. It didn't start. It's see to me, this is more going back to what how WandaVision was. The first episode, not much real action happened, but there was a lot of plot building. This show is one of those shows that you cannot have your cell phone out texting somebody, you know, doing other stuff. You have to sit down and watch the show because there's a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of things they're going to say that if you don't pay attention, you're going to miss, and you're just going to sit there and say, "God, you got it." You might have to watch it twice because there's a couple of things that I watched about the first 15 to 20 minutes with with one of my friends. Then afterwards, I watched the whole thing by myself, and I was like, God, I missed that in the beginning. Dang, I missed that. How did I miss that? You know, because I wasn't paying full attention. And I feel like anybody who wants to watch this show, watch the show when you're fully settled down. Do not watch the show while you're eating. Do not watch the show while you're texting a friend. It's a show that you sit down and you completely digest so you can get everything that's happening. There's a lot of stuff happening in the background. There's a lot of stuff happening in the foreground. There's a lot of stuff what's happening with what they're saying as well. Really good. I love shows like that.
Hmm. Yeah. No.
I enjoyed it.
All right. Well, uh, I did get a chance to watch it. In fact, I watched it 1.5 times. I meant to watch it twice before we talked tonight, but things got in the way. It's all good. I had to actually feed my face, so I couldn't. I didn't have time to totally watch it all. But the second time through was really for more for like note taking and whatnot.
Hmm.
So I watched it, and this is going to be maybe not the take that most people are going to be like, yeah, you know what? I thought it was good. Um, I, I look. I think this may be an expectation problem on my part. I'm not saying that it's my fault that I wasn't jumping up and down about it. I thought it was very good, but not like great. I wasn't being like, oh, this is like super exciting. Um, I was expecting to be gripped a little more, and I feel like it just didn't quite. It didn't quite have the vitality that I was expecting from it, especially
Hmm.
considering where they started it off. They started off. He escapes, and he's and you see this in the trailer too. He escapes, and then he's in a desert, and then he gets captured, and you're like, oh, well, what the hell's about to happen? And it's an exciting start, and then it sort of bogs down a little bit, and there's a lot of fun banter and everything, and there's a fish out of water, and there's a someone who thinks he knows what's going on but doesn't really know what the hell's going on, and it's slowly dawning on him that his understanding of the world and the universe is painfully limited, and
Yep.
and that painfully limited view being opened up is humbling. And also, he kind of gets to get a look at himself and like, what the hell's what am I really going on about? And also, you know, maybe seeing seeing opportunity also. And I'm being very vague with all of this, but if you've seen even a little bit of a trailer, it's there's a group of people, and they police time. They go around policing time, and what do they want with Loki, and why is he, why are they even after him? Why are they after him in the first place? What do they need him for?
Mhm.
And who are they? What's their what's their goal? And you got Luke Wilson, not Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson in there, and who's his character? He's apparently an agent of this time variance authority, and it's very much it reminds me of just a setup. It's the first, to me, if this were a movie, this is the first 15 to 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe 15. This is the first 15 or 20 minutes of the movie where you're telling people who the players are and what's kind of going on, and this is the setup. It's the setup and the setting, and in that sense it works for me. But I was expecting a little more in terms of like maybe action, maybe some kind of, you know, something a little more vital as far as like the character. Because I know Loki and I like Loki and I think he's a great character. There's nothing wrong with that. But outside of him, you don't really get to know anybody else. You are sure you're introduced to people. You're introduced to Agent Mobius, and you know various other people in the TVA, but you don't know any of them at the end of this episode. And maybe that's the deal to me is where you know where are my stakes, where are the you know where are they going with this besides you know we need you Loki. So
Yeah.
to that end, I you know like I said I think they did a good job. I think it's got a great setup. It's a great premise. The TVA is an interesting organization. I think that the set designers, the people who designed the TVA, visually, they deserve a huge round of applause because it's so fucking interesting to look at. And
Yeah.
I think I wrote it. I put a tweet out about it. It essentially said something that they made something so fantastical. And let me see. I said that they made something so fantastical, like a multiversal time traveling organization, seem so mundane. Like you
Yeah.
know, it was like you
Like
were.
they're bored with their jobs.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
It's one of the one of my favorite things
Which
about
is
it.
yeah, it's one of my favorite parts of the show. Like, you know, when he just, he comes to grips with what's going on and it's like, oh my God, these dudes have basically almost omnipotence and it's like a desk job.
Yes, it's a and you know I look at
It's just
and they lean so hard into it because everything there it looks like you're at the DMV, but not the DMV that you walk in today that has a kiosk and whatever. No, a DMV from 1975. It
yeah.
all looks like that. It's so it really is. They make it is one of the most amazing organizations uh, in existence in the Marvel universe, and it looks like you're going to renew your driver's license, and then
Listen.
that's fun. It's so amazing.
One of my favorite parts, he was like, take the ticket. It's literally just me and the other guy. Take your ticket.
Yeah, and it does, and there's the other aspect of again the design on here. It's very creative. Like they take a lot of their cues from things that actually existed. 40, 50 years ago. 60 years
Mhm.
ago, and so the little the what is it the like the public service announcement video that they have. I was like,
Yeah.
it's the Jetsons or
Yeah.
Flintstone. It's
Yeah.
just like little touches like that. It's very whimsical, um, and all but they lay out kind of what what they can do, and then then there's an enemy that they're having a problem with. So you're like, wow, and so again I think the just the setup and the premise very intriguing. I'm curious about what's coming in the future. There's just a little something missing from this first episode that didn't quite grab me like by the throat and be like watch this damn show. So but I'm locked in. I love this shit. So I'm ready to see where they're going with it. So
Mhm.
all in all, definitely you should watch it. I think it's absolutely worthwhile to watch, especially because it definitely relates to other Marvel stuff. So if you want to be caught up completely. So anyway, that's my non-spoiler. Oh, and before I say anything else spoilery, shout out to Tom Hiddleston for just kicking ass, kicking absolute ass as Loki. He's hilarious in this episode.
Yeah.
He's the Loki that I forgot. I forgot that this Loki. Who this Loki is? This is the Loki that at a certain point you realize this is the Loki that masquerades as Odin. In
Yeah,
Thor
this is like
Ragnarok.
yeah, this is what I had to tell my ex, like, cause she was going like, why is he acting like this? He wasn't acting like this before, and I'm like, you got to remember, this is the Loki that wasn't humbled. This is pre-humbled Loki. So in his mind, he thinks he's king. He's all this. I said if this was the Loki that started off in Infinity War, he would act completely different.
Right.
But this is pre-humbled Loki. So this is a Loki that feels literally like you guys are beneath me. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, he's it, and so Tom Hiddleston's great in this. I really enjoyed that, and I did like Owen
Hmm.
Wilson as Agent Mobius. He's I feel like I'm watching dude from Wedding Crashers just kind of interrogate Loki, but other than that, yeah, he's really good. So yeah, shout outs to those guys. So, you want to go ahead? Let's. You want to dive into the spoilers now and talk about some specifics about this show.
Okay. Okay. The little Easter egg that I really love that they brought up was the Infinity Stones.
I knew. Oh my god! I'm telling you, I sat and laughed about that for a good minute, and I mean like a legit minute. I was like, hell no.
You got they're like and he's like, they're paperweights. And that's what he was like, is this the highest power? And like the guy came up behind him was like, eh.
Yeah, the dude's like, "Oh
Eh.
yeah, we get those all. We got lots of those. Some guys use them as paper." And I love that the drawer. I paused it the same time I watched. I paused to just looking like, "What the fuck is in this drawer?" And it's like literally multiple versions of each Infinity Stone, just like, hey, just sitting there, just kind of sitting in there, nothing
Yeah.
doing. And there's other things in there too. There's a World War One medal, military medal, and uh, there's some baseball cards, vintage baseball cards and stuff. And I mean, I have no idea what that all, if any, significance. It's just interesting to kind of look at what's in there, in that drawer. But yeah, this I guess I took a bunch of notes about this. I liked from the beginning. Uh, it's just supposed to be a funny show. It's not so serious. It's a little more funny. So you already know what time it is when Loki gets slow motion bitch slapped. Like, like it's just a slow. She's like it's 1/16 speed, and he's just like at just a one
Like you
sixteen
can feel
speed.
every single second of it.
And I want you. I also want to draw your attention in particular, Lottie, to the actress who played what's I don't even know the character's name, that the enforcer woman. Um, I mentioned her to you. Oh gosh, a month ago or so, a month or two ago. She's a Nigerian actress. I think she's
Yeah.
Nigerian, but I think she lives she's in America or whatever, or British, one of the two. It's one of the two. But
Hmm.
I know her she's from Lovecraft Country. She played one of the main characters on Lovecraft Country. So, like many Nigerian women, uh, strong. She looked like she could put. When she hit him, I was like, oh, that looks like a stout Nigerian woman. I know you can attest to that.
Yes.
Are you in any way surprised looking at her? Are you like, yep?
Yeah. Now that you told me she's Nigerian, I was like, yep, makes perfect sense. You're gonna tell that she's not gonna give up either.
Nah,
She-
she's a really good actress. I'm enjoying seeing her pop up in things. So that she did a great job. She's just no nonsense. She's not fucking around. Um, I liked the I like the little electric dog collar that they got on. That they had on. It's a good gag. It's just a good gag.
every, every time he gets right, he tries to attack.
I did, and I liked that later on when he had a lot of fun just kind of turning the tables with that thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Stop. Stop. Stop.
it was fun. What? Oh my gosh, that remember I was saying about they just this mundane ass thing with all the powers that they have. The
Hmm.
whole prison or jail intake process was hilarious to me. I just every bit where they're just like bored bureaucrats, just like just sign the damn paper. That's
Yeah. He was like, "Is this every single word that you ever said that you ever said? What?
new.
Sign this as well. What are you talking about?
What?
Sign this as well. Uh-oh." He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah,
I just love how like during the episode, more he slowly began to realize this is 100% real. Like what's going on to them, it's like they basically like honestly, they really like honestly that organization literally could beat the ever living crap out of Thanos. And that's what he realized when he was like sitting there going like,
like
wow.
like these motherfuckers got for real
Like
got
they
all the
can make
Infinity
Infinity
Stones.
Stone. They can literally make 10 Infinity Gauntlets.
Or did you or more importantly, not only do they have all, but they don't work in the
Yeah,
TVA. None of that shit
yeah.
work. Like no
Works.
magic, none of that. The Infinity Stones don't work in the TVA. I wouldn't be surprised. And this is one of the things I think I saw. I think this is what I saw. I think I saw part of an arc reactor in that drawer. I think that's what there was a little coil, a little thing, and it reminded me of part of the arc reactor.
I
So
wouldn't be surprised either.
even the arc reactor doesn't work in there. Only their shit works. So it's pretty. Yeah, they're and there's a point at which Loki's literally just like, huh. After he sees all that, he's like, these motherfuckers really are that powerful, like for
Yep.
real. And I think I saw the wheels turn in his head as he started to figure out how am I gonna use this. You know,
Yeah.
um, I, I liked. I think I already mentioned all the stuff about the way everything looked around there. I did. I
Oh,
do
and I
like.
also mentioned this one as well. That Loki is that famous dude that stole the plane
DB
and
Cooper.
jumped out. Yeah. I was like, Loki.
On a bet. I'm like, well, that makes sense. That's why they never found
Yeah.
the body or anything like that.
Yeah.
Heimdall. Um,
And
I,
why the money got scattered all over the place.
right. There was the whole TVA thing. Their whole thing is they quote protect the time stream, but really what they're more like is that they've picked or someone has picked a time stream and they said this is the right one.
Mhm.
Every other one is wrong, and the
Yeah.
TVA exists to make sure that only the correct one exists. So
Yeah.
they use very this is the mark of a big bureaucracy that does
Yeah.
terrible things. Because can we agree the TVA does some pretty monstrous shit.
Yeah, they basically just completely delete a timeline just because one thing happens. This one guy
They
was part of the time. Like because we all know the main villain. Just because the main villain uh showed up in this timeline, that timeline got completely erased. It's
right
the same thing what happened the timeline where Loki came from. That timeline's been completely erased just because of what happened. And
right
I'm just and you're right. It's like you basically just erased trillions of lives because of
and
one
Loki,
person's
yeah,
mistake.
and Loki calls them out on that shit too. That
Yeah,
they just decide, and they're like, yeah, because the timekeepers say so. Timekeepers are, you know, three godlike beings who
yeah,
created the TVA. I looked at them and I thought of them as they're like they're basically like the Guardians from Green Lantern combined with
yeah,
the monitors from the DC, the monitors in DC and the Lantern
yeah,
Guardians. And there are three of them. And they're godlike, and they've created these people,
yeah,
to police everything. And all they do is they go around and they let's call it like
yeah.
it is. They kill people. They kill entire universes because they don't conform exactly to.
Like, either way, this. I'm gonna tell you an exact show. This exactly happened in Ben 10. This exact happened. There's these creatures, Alien X. Alien X is part of an alien race that exists outside of this dimension. They are beings that control time and space. And there was a time where Ben's universe got completely erased because there was like this bomb that erased the universe, and Ben turned into Alien X and brought the universe back to life. He re-brought back the universe, but then the order of Alien X's were like, "How dare you do that?" And there's like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "How dare you bring back the universe? They were supposed to die." And he's like, "What do you mean? I brought them back. I saved lives." And they're like, "Nope. We decided that that universe should not exist. So because you brought that universe back, not only are we going to destroy the universe again, we're going to destroy every single universe that you can become Alien X in. So this can never happen again." And we're like what the word? Just because of that one thing, you're going to kill all these people?
Yep. And it's interesting because they, I kind of asked myself this question, like, do the people that work for the TVA, they have all this, propaganda around telling them about what they're doing and why they're doing it, but do they even know what their individual jobs are actually for? What does any of it mean? And what's the
Yeah.
ultimate purpose? The ultimate purpose is, the judge in there, she said she dictates what the timekeepers dictate. And so without asking any questions, just doing whatever they say because they say
Yeah.
to do it. And there's also there's another kind of monstrous implication. There's a couple monstrous implications about the TVA and the timekeepers. One, Loki asks straight up, "So y'all were created to basically be the enforcement arm of the timekeepers?" And Mobius is like, "Yeah." And when I took created to mean that they literally the timekeepers literally created people. Not
Yeah.
these are because I'll ask myself, like, are all the TVA humans? Are they humans? Are they humans? Like, they look human, but
Yeah.
he said they were created. So that
Yeah.
means the timekeepers might have created whoever these people are. They may be humans from the future or any other timeline.
Well, let's just say they basically copied humanity. Let's just say they took DNA from whatever humans and just recreated their own humans,
I'm just saying,
basically.
did they? No, I'm asking you for real. Are they human? Because I get it. Magic don't work in that, and the TVA, that's fine. I can run with that. Loki is an Asgardian. They are not just magically strong. They are also physically strong.
Really strong. Yeah.
And Loki, even if he is, not even if he is not like the strongest Asgardian, he's still
He could
stronger than
still.
any human being.
Yeah.
And he struggled, like he couldn't break free of these people. What are they?
Yeah.
It's one of my questions. What are they?
Yeah, that's why I said they're like some pseudo humans that they created to do their dirty work. Pretty much to do their dirty work because they're not doing anything. Because I'm pretty sure at the end of this series, you're gonna find out they're literally doing absolutely nothing.
Well, or no, I think they're doing something, but I think this is a situation where the overall activity of the TVA is monstrous,
Yeah.
but the individual activities of, say, the dude that that was storing the Tesseract that Loki ran into is pretty pedestrian and has almost nothing to do with the horribleness, but in the aggregate, because it's clear when you saw that big sweeping picture of the TVA, and mind you, that's a fraction, I bet, of what the TVA actually is, as far
Yeah.
as like its actual footprint. When you see that big, you realize how many trillions of individuals make up the TVA, right?
Hmm.
And so there's trillions of people doing small little jobs that in aggregate is some horrible master plan that obliterates, trillions upon trillions upon trillions of lives every time they decide that a timeline shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And that maybe they have a good reason. They said there was multiversal wars and whatnot. So maybe what happened was the TVA that we see here are the ones who won the war and decided that this timeline that leads to us must
Yeah.
prevail.
That's just That's straight facts. I mean, you got to ask yourself, who are these beings? Because these beings are not. We know for a fact they're not more powerful than the living tribunal, and of
Which we
course
have
the
never,
one
which of course we've only ever seen a hint at from the staff of the Living Tribunal
tribunal.
from
Yeah,
from
we
Doctor
know.
Strange.
Yeah, we know they're not greater than the living tribunal, and then we know they're not greater than the one before all. I mean, the one above all. So we know that. We know those two things for a fact. We know that. We also know for a fact that we don't need them to time travel.
Right,
You don't need them to time travel.
right.
So they're not omnipotent. You know what I mean? You don't need them to time
They're.
travel.
I think they're near enough.
No,
Uh,
they're near enough. But the thing about it is, it's like I remember Diamond was telling. She was like, "Oh well, you know, the Infinity Stones are useless, so they could pretty much stop anything." But I was like, "Don't forget, the Avengers figured out time travel without the Time Stone. They don't need. There's you can time travel without the Time Stone."
I think
And I
it's
said,
pretty
"The only
clear. Yeah, I think
yeah,"
that's
and
pretty clear.
I just said, and then it was like, because she was like, "Oh, what the Avengers did was right." And what they did was right, and what they did, like she was basically like Diamond was going like, "Oh well, what the Avengers did was right to save the universe." I said, "How do you know that?" I was like, "How do you know that?" I said, "Honestly, because of the Avengers made a mistake, a whole entire universe got deleted."
Right.
That's why I said, "How do you know what they did was right?" I said, "Did
I
you
don't know
forget?"
about right or wrong. All we know is
I
that Doctor Strange said that was the one in
That was the one
14
and
million,
only way.
yeah, 14 million chance.
And he didn't want to say it because who knows? He probably saw that this was going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know. We don't know what Doctor Strange saw. Well,
I would assume he did not see the TVA though. I take their word that
well, I,
you don't
I'm,
see them until they need to come for you. So
I say yes and no because this goes back to Endgame. What's her name? What's that woman's name again? The
you yep
what's that woman?
that is the question I was asking myself. What about Gamora from the past? What
But
about
no,
her?
not even just Gamora from the past. What's that? Oh God.
It's what you're talking about, Nebula.
No, not Nebula. The woman who taught Doctor Strange.
Oh, yes,
She
I had
literally
this question
mentioned
too. Yes,
this.
exactly. I had this question too. Go
She
ahead. Okay.
literally mentioned this. She literally mentioned that what you can do can cause this universe to become erased. So she
Yes,
knows about them.
exactly. Oh my gosh, we're on the same exact wavelength. Cause I was watching it again and I was like, hold on a second. What was the point of Steve Rogers having to take any of those Infinity Stones back when it's clear that the TVA don't give a shit about that? The Hulk had this conversation with the Ancient One,
Yeah,
and she was like, if you do that and you don't bring these things back, you'll make a new timeline, but that timeline's going to be fucked up because it doesn't have an Infinity Stone to protect it, and it's going to get
yeah,
overrun and evil and blah blah blah, all that stuff, all those warnings. And
yeah.
he was like, all right, well, I'll definitely will take them back, so they won't have that problem. Well, wouldn't the TVA just go in there and be like, this is an alternate timeline where the Infinity Stone didn't come back? Bloop, bye.
Yeah. And be honest with you, they took them. They just took them.
Well,
They could easily, and the
actually,
thing about it is, they could give those Infinity Stones back. That's the crazy part
there's
about
no
it.
reason
Let
for
that
why would
sink
they
in.
do. Well, why would they do it though? They literally are. Though any of these branching timelines are timelines that shouldn't exist, and
Yeah,
they're
they
gonna blow
shouldn't
them up
exist, and they're
anyway.
gonna blow them up anyway. And that's the thing that she warned them about. So she, you don't know. The ancient one probably knows about these people, and just like,
I suspect that she doesn't, but she understands multi-causal,
yeah,
multiversal.
multi-causal. Yeah,
But the other thing one thing that all of those Infinity Stones indicates, to me at least, the one thing I was like, well, this probably means that there's a lot of people who fuck with the time stream who get Infinity Stones somehow or another. There are
or
a lot of variants that end up with Infinity
or
Stones.
or the Avengers tried from multiple timelines and failed.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that like
Multiple times they
well
tried and failed.
from the because it was 1 out of 14 million some number of timelines. I think in at least if that's is that 14 million different timelines where they did try, or was that 14 million timelines period? Well, we don't know, but I would assume that
Well,
and a lot of
at
that.
least a few of them.
Yeah.
At least a few of them they tried. Some of them they probably didn't even try. Probably they, you know, they were able to get the Thanos before he destroyed the gauntlet.
Right.
Some of them might have done something. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's one universe where what's his name aimed for the head. You know what
Right.
I mean?
I
So
mean,
there's
there's definitely. I think there's definitely a. I think it's just clear that the Infinity Stones, when they are still, whole, are a magnet for trouble and for timeline disruption.
yeah. So that's
Um.
why they just take them and they're like, here's a paperweight, nice
Right.
shiny jewel
Right.
paperweight.
I did. I think probably the best things that this show this episode got better towards the end for me at least, and only in the sense that you finally see Loki stop lying about his motivations and what he's there for and all that other stuff. And the whole bit where you realize that when he realized he indirectly caused the death of Frigga, how
Yeah.
that kind of fucked him up, and I'm like,
Yeah, because
yes,
that fucked him up in the movie. That's
yeah,
because remember in the movie he pretended like he was okay
yeah,
until Thor was like, "You can bring down your illusion," and he like destroyed his room. Like he knew that he was the cause of his,
right,
the woman who loved him death. It's the same thing. As much as, and it's like the same thing. He went and saw his father. As much all the shit that he put, what's his name through,
yeah. Odin.
he still loved him. Odin still loved him,
Hmm.
and it's one of those things that it was like, damn, it's like it's the plight of the black sheep son, the son that can't get it right. That he realizes of all the pain that he put his parents and family through, they still love him because at the end of the day, remember he saw that Thor was distraught about his brother dying too.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, all the pain that he's caused, they still loved him.
Right.
You know?
And he also, I think, saw that all of his glorious purpose, as Mobius said, was really just to be basically the whetstone by which other people sharpen themselves and become better.
Yeah,
And he's fated to die, you know, in
yeah,
a really kind of awful death at the hands of Thanos. And
yeah.
that's the end of his chapter, or his whole life story. And understanding that and realizing that at the TVA maybe he's got a chance to break out and away from that untimely death and a fate in which he only gets redemption in the fact that he dies nobly, and at the side of his brother. So I thought
Uh,
that's very strong character development.
okay.
Yeah, from
Uh,
a character that already has really strong character development.
mhm. So I have a very strange. It's not a theory. It's a strange question.
Hmm.
Is there a possibility that there is a rogue Captain America out there? Just hear
I
me
mean,
out.
I don't see why there
Hear
wouldn't
me
be.
out. Hear me out. He went back in time when he should not have done.
Oh, that's another question I had.
Let's
I
just.
had another
There
question.
is there a rogue Steve Rogers out there? There has to be. There has to be because he went back into the past when he should not have. Because everyone's like, "Oh well, he went to a different timeline." I said, "How? How did he went to a different?" Everyone's like, "Oh well, all this stuff that happened." I was like, um, you know, because at the
Yeah.
end we saw him as an old man. There has to be a Steve Rogers that went back into the past and he's rogue now.
Well, and I sort of wonder about this whole, the TVA and what they do, because think about this. Steve Rogers, he's like, I'm gonna go and take all these these stones back. Let's just say he does that. He goes to everyone and he takes all the stones back. That's what's supposed to happen with the timeline, right? And then he goes back to the past and he marries Peggy Carter and they have kids and live a long life together and everything, right? That's what happens. In an alternate timeline, that's the answer right there. He did not do that in the main Marvel timeline. It's an alternate timeline. Where is the TVA? Where were they to prune that timeline? Because that's what they said. There's the sacred timeline. Steve Rogers, we know they didn't kill that timeline because he comes back to the future to give Sam the fucking shield. Where do they do it? Is this a plot hole? I wonder.
You know what I think there is a rogue Captain America out there.
I would be fine with that. You know, I the thing is the TVA as in this episode look omnipotent, and I don't believe it. I don't believe it because they're chasing after an adversary that has clearly got their number. So he's either one of them, or he is a very strong adversary.
Oh, you know they mentioned who it is, right?
I'm sorry. It's Loki, right?
Yeah, it's Loki.
Yeah.
So that's why I said there has to be multiple. Like, see, this TV show makes you realize just multiple different. Like, there is a rogue Thanos probably out there right now.
Yeah.
There has to be, because the way they make it so, because we know.
Wait a minute. Doesn't that tell you? Ask you another thing. The Thanos from the past is they didn't prune him either, even though he's clearly an alternate. That's
what they did, because like they consider what the Avengers were doing as quote unquote good.
Right.
So they did. So basically, they allowed that to happen. You know, because he got erased.
Right.
But there has to have been a timeline where he won again and went rogue.
And
you know what I mean?
And they erased him. That's why
I kind of would be interested to see that.
Literally, they've had to erase all of those alternate timelines. So there's some discrepancies here. I don't believe that they are as strong, as omnipotent or omniscient or whatever as they claim to be. At least they appear to be to Loki, because Loki he's been dropped into an unknown situation and has to believe everything he sees until told otherwise. So, and we are too, because we don't know shit either. I wanted to bring to your attention and to the listeners' attention kind of a little, and I mentioned earlier, a reference to WandaVision and also the Multiverse of Madness. Did you notice in the little Miss Minutes talking about, you've been apprehended by us and what's about to happen to you now, and gave a brief overview of the multiversal wars and everything like that. Well, they were talking about, well, what are, you're a variant, what's a variant, and all the other stuff, and they said, if we don't correct you, that you're a nexus being or whatever, and this is a nexus event. You're a variant, and this is a nexus event where you deviate from the sacred timeline. And if we don't get you, you'll branch off into madness, and then possibly cause another multiversal war. So I was like, okay, so y'all are definitely hinting at the multiverse of madness, because why would you just say branch off into madness? That seems a very random way to say things are just going to go all over the place. So
basically, what I'm gathering, if there's going to be a movie, Multiverse of Madness,
the TVA got to have something to do with it. Yeah.
Or the TVA falls. Something happens.
You know what? That'd be cool too.
Yeah. I think they fall.
That'd be cool.
Because it has to be. Something like that has to happen, because how can there be a multiverse of madness if these people are constantly calling all different timelines? Because, like you said, Steve Rogers' timeline where he went back into the thing and had a family and all those kids, that timeline's probably been deleted. Steve Rogers' kids are probably Aether now.
Yeah, this just, but it's just, it is weird that there we can immediately be like, but what about this timeline? Like what about this right here? You know, we're asking ourselves these questions. They literally, when every time they went back to the past, they created alternate timelines. So did they jump back in and destroy those? You know, what are they doing?
Pretty sure
Um,
each episode is going to explain it.
well, you
You
know,
know, they're
I
going.
would hope so. I really hope that they're spending a lot of time chasing this other Loki down, and why is he so badass or whatever. And again, you know, why isn't Gamora from the past? Why isn't she? You know, why isn't she being tracked down by the by the TVA? Um,
Probably because she needs to get it on with Star Lord and have a kid in
I guess so.
Guardians 3. It is the what do they call it? The three timeline wizards. They
Yeah,
saw
the
Gamora.
timekeepers.
They
Yeah,
the three timekeepers saw Star Lord. What did they say? They saw Star Lord lonely and saw this was not good. So they brought Gamora from the past to the future and said, "Woman must be with man."
yeah, and it's so I kind of look at yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're never going to talk about it, but it would be nice if they would address that. Also, you know, here's a little bit of hell yeah for you. I don't know
hmm
if I would. I was looking at the whole, uh, you know, the animated bit where they're like the timekeepers, and I was like, okay, who are these people? And then you notice there's like statues to them, and there's carved wooden faces of them on the behind in the judges in the courtroom. And so I was like, who the fuck are these? Because I was like, I feel like I recognize at least one of these faces. And so I came across a little article that's like, hey, guess what? And I buy what they're saying. This, I forget where it was from, it may have been Screen Rant or something, but they said that middle one, the one in the middle on all of the pictures of them and, you know, the carving, is Kang the Conqueror. And
Makes
I was like,
absolute
hell
sense.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
makes absolute sense. And this goes back to what you just said, what we just talked about. Those three beings are not these super powerful, omnipotent wizards. They're just conquerors.
I better say they're close enough, though. I mean, Kang the Conqueror in the future is you know, an unchallenged, undisputed ruler in the future, and the reason why he is because he's gone to the past and ensured his future self the ability to rule. So, and by doing so, he keeps, you know, coming around and fucking with the Avengers. So clearly, at some point in the future, or at least in a timeline, they fuck up and he wins, right? So this whole, like I said, I was thinking like, who is? I recognize one of these faces. I thought one of them maybe looked like the Marvel Comics version of Thanos. But then um, when they said Kang the Conqueror, I was like, hell yeah. And they were even saying like the artist, the animated rendition of Kang the Conqueror looks like Jonathan Majors, who has been cast to be Kang in the next Ant-Man and the Wasp. So we're we are we're in that crazy place that all comic book fans end up in when you realize, shit, I'm gonna have to go buy. I'm gonna have to go buy issues of this other comic that I don't read because I'm not gonna understand the crossover. That's what we're getting right now. We're getting the crossover. They are sowing the seeds of these
Yeah.
future movies that we're definitely gonna get. And look at you and me. Look, we did our non-spoiler thing, and what have we been doing for like the last 30 minutes? We have been sitting up here speculating about what does this shit all mean? Well, how does it have
Yeah.
to do with WandaVision and Doctor Strange too? Are these people human? Who is this badass Loki? Right? What does Mobius got to do with? Why is Mobius a Loki expert? You know?
You know.
There's so many questions that we have to answer, have to be answered here, and
Yeah.
we still got a week to wait. Whew, I don't know. Did you have any more questions or speculations you wanted to touch on before we bring this to a close?
Yeah. One thing I want to say is I cannot wait until because I already know it's coming into the Spider Verse live action movie because all of this just gonna lead into different universes. So eventually, what they're trying to do, my guess, is that this timeline stuff is gonna stop. It's going to break, right? Them trying to make this perfect timeline, it's gonna break, and there's gonna become multiverses, different universes, different timelines, and this is where we're gonna start getting into the Spider Verse or into the different universes, different timelines, different things are gonna be happening
Well, yeah.
because
Well, and
they're gonna.
also I'm gonna say also remember, there's hints or speculation that No Way Home may have some kind of multiversal or some kind of mystical
Mhm,
aspect of it. So we could be very well be seeing that before into the Spider Verse or anything like that.
mhm.
So
Can't wait.
so the
I'm
yeah,
excited.
it's yeah. The more I think about it, I think that's what I'll say about this episode. What was it great to me? Not really. I mean, it was. I just think it was really good. It was filled with a lot of ideas and a lot of like fantastical things and a lot of like that shit is cool situations. And also just Loki as a character becoming even more three dimensional than he already is. I loved all those aspects of it. There's some aspects of it that just were just a little bogged down to me. But if you can get me to sit here and be like, but wait a minute, what about this? You're doing the right thing when it comes to comic book movies. So hats off to the people at Marvel Studios. I'm sure this is another hit, and uh, I'm really, really looking forward to the next Loki Wednesday. So, and which I'm assuming we're going to be doing the show on Wednesdays from at least for the next six
Yeah.
weeks because we got to get it in. We got to get in on Wednesdays. So,
And that's the thing that I like about. That's what the main thing I liked about this TV show. It's not an action. It's not this blow up in your face action. It's a TV show that opens up so many doors because there's so many things that can happen with what's going on because it adds all these different timelines. It adds all this different because, like I said, now you start thinking, oh my God, there might be a rogue Captain America. Like you start thinking of all the people that went back into the past. There might be a rogue Iron Man if all fucks all fuck's sakes. There might be a rogue Iron Man if all we know. You
yeah,
know, there's a rogue. There could be a rogue character for everybody right now. And then all of a sudden we're gonna see an Iron Man that that's how they might bring back Iron Man, or that's how they bring back Steve Rogers. They're going to have a rogue character that's still alive.
right.
And the thing about it is, you can go rogue and probably still be a good person. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing is that they were like, oh, you may have just gotten to work late, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you gonna kill me
Yeah.
because I overslept by a minute? God. But and also I guess my closing thought is Marvel's What If animated show is gonna premiere in July, and I don't think it's canon, but it does make you think. What does the TVA have to do with any of that shit? All those alternate universes. Just something to think about. I'm not saying we gotta, we don't have to go into it, but just something to think about. What's What If got to do with all of this?
Hmm.
So, all right, that's our thoughts on on Loki episode one. It's entitled what was it? What is it called? Not terrible purpose.
Great purpose or
Glorious
something.
purpose. Glorious purpose. So you guys get out there and watch that if you haven't watched it already, and check that out, and then come back next week when we talk about that some more. So, Lottie, thanks once again for joining me on the show this week. You want to share your socials with our good listeners?
Oh yes, you can find me. You can find my YouTube channel. It's KiniHun25, KINIHUN 25, and my Instagram is Anukinihun, ANUKINIHUN. Follow me on there. Been uploading quite a bit of stuff for the last week. about my video game characters. A couple of other stuff that I've been working on, some slideshows, different pictures and poses. So yeah, guys, make sure you follow me if you're interested in seeing, different video game characters. I'm gonna start working on other game characters from different ideas that I've had before.
All right, you guys get out there and check out LOKI'S various socials, and join, like, subscribe, all that, all that fun stuff. You know what to do. Show some love. And of course, as always, you can reach the Super Not Funny Show on Twitter at Super Not Funny S1, and of course, you can email us supernotfunnyshow at gmail.com. And hey, are you a member of the Super Not Funny Show family? What? You're not? Well, what the hell are you doing with your life, man? Make your life a little bit better by joining the Super Not Funny Show family. Hit that subscribe button. And of course, hit that notification bell to let you know when we drop new content. We do that every week. We're doing new reviews and new reactions. And of course, new podcasts. And we really appreciate you guys for sticking around and listening to us talk about superhero stuff today. And of course, come back next week. We're going to be talking about Loki yet again, and then all the other superhero news. So that'll be a fun time, and we can't wait to get back together and talk about that and have you guys join us. Until then, I have been Mo the Poupée, your resident fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the great anime fan, video game enthusiast, and just lover of superheroes, my good friend LADI. Thanks again for joining us. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
See ya.